What you got, Randy?
Condit, what's he doing right? It looked like just from looking at the box score.
Yeah, he. You didn't watch the game?
I
Couldn't get the Pac-12 network down there.
Yeah. Dang, you guys couldn't find a bar.
We were in the press box.
No, he was good. You know, he came off the bench. The first half was really good. I think defensively, he was a really big presence for us. You know, I had 6 blocks, and then he ran the floor. He's got great hands, so he's got a really good feel around the rim, catching passes. But defensively, he was a really big presence for us. And both halves, he played really well.
How much has he learned? How much do you have to learn to become a shot blocker?
Man,
It's not all just being a 6'10" guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it's innate. You know, his ability. He has a good feel for the game. You know, and sometimes, you know, you don't want to take yourself out of position to block if you can't get it, because then you're giving up weak side rebounding position. But he made a couple really tough plays too. Blocks. There was one play, I think he had 2 blocks the same possession, saved a bucket for us, and he saved a couple. I bet he saved 8 to 10 points. You know, maybe 6 to 8, just with his length and size around the rim. And you know, that bothered us some with Kelly on the other end. He may not have had as many blocks, but I think his size and length bothered us around the rim a little bit as well.
When you watch the film defensively, was it the exact same stuff that you felt
for us
watching it in real time?
Yeah. We weren't good enough. We weren't ready to go win that game. And what I mean by that, I just mean the attention to detail, the focus on the defensive end that you have to do for 40 minutes. I mean, it's kind of reminded me from the standpoint of the game when Texas Tech played us here last year. I mean, Culver had to get 30 if they were going to win that game, and he got 30. Tinkle had to be at his best for them to win. And out of the 19 he got in the first half, it's a miscue in our three-quarter court pressure. We trip and fall one time. They went small, and that bothered us for a stretch when Tinkle was at the 4. That gave up about 10 points, but it was off miscommunications and switches and, you know, things early in the year that are going to happen. And then Prentice did a phenomenal job on them, and we're up 1 with a minute to go, and, you know, give him credit. You know, we lost him, and he made us pay the last 2 possessions.
In what ways is it tougher for a big man to come out of high school, come to college, and start making significant contributions rather than maybe a point guard or something?
I think it's tough for everybody. You know, I mean, the point guard's probably the hardest position on the floor to come in, you know, as a freshman. That's why, you know, I've had a lot of point guards have kind of started off the ball. I mean, you look at Tyrese, he didn't play point guard at all last year, but if you put him in at point guard last year, was that the best thing for him? Or to put him off the ball and let him play off second, third side ball reversal and then make decisions? Every position is tough to come in, you know, at this level, especially in this league. But, you know, the big guy, there is a lot on you because you're the last line of defense, to where you have to be great in pick and roll coverage, you have to protect the basket, got to rebound. And so, but I think every position there's a lot big learning curve.
What do you find that you have to teach most to a big person? George, for example. You know,
like for George, I would say, you know,
or coming out of high school.
Just, you know, understanding how important rim running is. Mm-hmm. You know, that if you can get to the rim, you know, straight line to the rim, I think that's huge. Number 1, how to post up and not waste time posting up, but understand angles and understand when to seal and, you know, and when to get away, and then spacing, how to play with another big or how to play with 4 guards. I think, you know, those 3 things are huge. Defensively, you know, that's a whole other thing, because now you're talking about, you know, scouting report and all that. But from an offensive standpoint, I think those things are huge.
Forget about how to protect the rim without fouling, because I assume in high school you're facing a different caliber of athlete, and you know, and it's fairly easy to block the shot.
Yeah, I mean, George was great. I don't know how many fouls he had the other day, but he was terrific, and I think that's the one thing. I mean, I think that's the good thing about this team is it could be a different front court guy or a perimeter guy each day. You know, I mean, I don't know if there's a bunch of, you know, it's not like here and here. And so, you know, George and Zion were terrific for us off the bench up there and played really well.
Again, kind of following this game online and stuff Saturday, but I think Tyrese 0-2 in the first half, but then really went kind of crazy in the second half. What did you see, especially looking back, of how his game changed between the
Well, he's just more aggressive, and he needs to be aggressive, and not necessarily just to score. He needs to be aggressive because, you know, his ability to play make, you know, and make other people's better, make the game easier for people. And so he said at halftime that, hey, I need to be, I need to be more aggressive. And when he's getting downhill and we're getting him in space and he's able to make plays and, against broken defenses, and he can really make you pay. And so, but offensively, you look at our offensive numbers. Our offensive numbers are good. I'm not, our thing. We've got to find a way to be a good defensive team. This year, right now, in this moment, we got to be a good defensive team. And you look at the early numbers. Everything is, our OER up there was good. On the road, we almost had a 1.1 OER. That's really good, but our DR is not good enough. And so, we got to figure out ways to be better defensively, and that's going to be the biggest key for this team.
With the way Prentice was able to guard Tinkle in the second half, does that give you confidence going forward that, obviously it depends on the matchup, but if you've got other guys like that he can match up with them?
I got all the confidence in the world in Prentice. I think Rossiers can be an elite defender. Trey Jackson can guard the ball. Tyrese has length. But Prentice did a great job. You take away, and he's sick about it, if you talk to him. He did a phenomenal job for 19 minutes. And then the 1-3 when we're up 1, he goes underneath Mike and didn't trail him over the top, and he got a little breathing room. And to his credit, Tinkle's good now. We were playing a good player, and he made a big play.
What does he do that can make a guy that's 6'7", make him uncomfortable still?
Well, I think that's the one thing at the end we didn't do it, and that's just getting underneath him, making him bounce it. We didn't want Tinkle to get spot up or face up threes, and then he got too many of those.
Talked last year a lot how you never ran anything for Tyrese. Obviously, you guys will this year just because of the roles. But is that even more important for a player like him that's not maybe naturally aggressive and probably isn't going to break a lot of guys down on the bounce to get him in situations where he can score to give him a little
the
bit of
one big,
advantage?
pull-up jump shot, Solomon had a great screen. It's a little action we've ran forever for the point guards, whether it's for years. And so, but yeah, you got to put him in. We put him in some of the baseline stuff that was really good for Monte a couple years ago. But we can put all the guys. We can put Prentice down there, Rossier down there. But yeah, you do. But again, it's not necessarily to score. It's just to be able to give him a crease to draw help, to be able to have the ball in his hands to make a good decision. Whether it's, him and George were terrific, finding each other the other day.
How much of this kind of goes back to what Randy asked about rim running. How much of that is kind of rewarding those guys that they know? Tyrese made a couple of those passes to George on Saturday where he knows when he runs like that, he's going to get the ball.
Yeah, if we rim run, good things happen. Because if they don't get it at the rim, if we reverse it, we've got the guy on the wrong side to seal and get a quick post feed. And so we got to reward guys if we rim run. That's been a big point of emphasis for our programs over the last 10 years. You got to rim run. The 5-man's got to rim run because it puts so much pressure on the defense.
Did Tyrese turn a corner from the aggression standpoint, given that big second half? Do you think him talking to himself about it,
Yeah,
flipped the switch?
but they all need to be a little bit more aggressive. There's a lot of times we showed Rossier on tape where he needs to get downhill and he has open space in the zone where he needs to try to knife the zone. Lindell used to do a great job. We just call it knife the zone on the wing and get in gaps. But I think all those guys got to be aggressive. But again, you go score 75 points on the road and you miss probably 10 layups and 2 of your better players miss 4 free throws, and you have, probably 8 to 10 bad possessions of shot selection, we already have 75, so that gives you an opportunity to get 85. Our problem is you can't give up 80 on the road, and so offensive, I think we're in a good place.
What do you think's not working defensively? Because you mentioned all the guards and stuff.
Well, it's a different team to where we got to understand that, hey, we're not playing 4 guards anymore. We're playing, got Mike Jacobson at the 4, Zion Griffin at the 4, so those are different matchups when they go small with Tinkle. And, we didn't communicate the right way on ball screens. It gave up, 7 points off that in that 15-0 run. Those are big baskets right there. But a lot of it's miscommunication. We tried to switch back on the ball side. We give up a 3 to Thompson, a big one late, and so it's more about just game reps and having game situations to see on film and grow from. And so it's not anything that they did that's like, man, they ran a stagger screen. How do you guard a stagger screen? I think it's just attention to detail and being more focused and understanding that that's how this team has to be. And so we'll be fine in that area but we got to get to work on it.
When they went, I think it was like a matchup zone kind of that they ran?
Yeah.
How did you feel like you guys attacked that?
Man, good and bad at times. I mean, the times we got ball movement and we ran our stuff the right way, good. The times that, we kind of died off or got sporadic, got the ball in the high post, we kind of got jammed up a little bit. So 50-50. I went back and charted it. We had some good possessions, and then we got in the middle of the zone and missed some shots, and we moved it well. Like one time, Zion gets a three, Rasir gets a layup, and so it's not really about what they're running or what we're doing. It's are we moving the ball side to side and getting multiple ball reversals.
Thanks, Steve.